Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into the absolutely wild world of fintech marketing in India. It's kind of like a gold rush out there. Tons of opportunity, but also incredibly competitive. So, using an analysis from the folks at upGrowth, we're going to break down the playbook for how to win in this super crowded space. So first things first, you have to understand this. The market is on fire. India's financial, technology, or fintech sector is just booming. Every single day, it feels like a new company pops up to disrupt traditional finance. And, while that creates these massive opportunities, it also guarantees one thing for sure: absolutely fierce competition. And that really brings us to the biggest question of all, right? When you're just one of many, many voices all shouting for attention, how do you even get heard? More than that, how do you build a business that actually lasts? It is a huge challenge, no doubt about it, but there is a clear path forward. To succeed, you first have to get a handle on the landscape. And trust me, it's not just about having a cool product. It's about navigating what is basically a complex, competitive maze. So, what even is fintech marketing really? Well, yeah, it's the art of promoting financial tech. But you gotta understand, it's a completely different ballgame than, say, marketing a new soda or a pair of sneakers. The stakes are just so much higher. And this is where you can really see the difference. Traditional marketing can kind of cast a wide net, hoping to catch anyone. But fintech marketing, it has to be laser-focused. We're talking about people's money, their life savings. So building trust and proving your security isn't just a nice feature, it's the absolute foundation of everything. You mix that with super strict regulations and a world where everyone's on their phone, and you start to see why this takes a specialist. Okay, so how do you actually win this game? How do you navigate the maze? Well, the analysis we're looking at points to 4 key strategies that really create a solid framework for success. So here's the playbook, broken down into 4 core pillars. First, you need onboarding that feels personal to each user, because that first impression is absolutely critical for keeping them around. Second, you gotta have content that actually educates people. Trust is built when you provide real value, not just a sales pitch. Third, using influencers who can give you that authentic social proof. And finally, you gotta leverage social media trends, not just for ads, but to spark real organic conversations. You put these 4 together, and you've got a seriously powerful strategy. Now, having the playbook is one thing, but actually executing all of those strategies, that's a massive undertaking. And that's exactly why so many fintech companies turn to specialized agencies to get that competitive edge. And what becomes really clear when you look at these partners is that expertise varies a lot. You've got some agencies like upGrowth that are all about growth hacking and using AI. Then there are others like Alatra who focus more on the big picture brand strategy. And then you have firms like Page Traffic who go super deep on data-driven SEO. The big takeaway here is that there is no one-size-fits-all partner. Success really comes down to matching the right expertise to your specific business needs. Wow. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? Choosing a partner isn't just some small decision on a checklist. It can literally change the entire trajectory of a company. So what does that rocket fuel look like in the real world? Let's check out a couple of examples.
All right, so take Fi Money, a digital banking platform. Their challenge was enormous. How in the world do you get seen on Google when literally everybody is fighting for the exact same keywords? They had to find a way to cut through all that noise to reach their customers organically.
So what was the result? By partnering with upGrowth, they went after Google's featured snippets. Those little answer boxes that sit right at the very top of the search results? In just 6 months, they secured over 15,000 of them. 15,000! That is a mind-blowing leap in visibility, all driven by a super specialized tactic. And here's another really fascinating transformation. This company, Street Gains, an investment advisory, was basically stuck. They had this old-school sales model that just couldn't scale up. Well, in just 2 months, that's it, 2 months, they completely flipped their strategy. They moved away from a manual, sales-heavy approach to something called product-led growth, using automation and better user journeys to let the product itself do the selling. A total strategic pivot in just 60 days. Incredible. So those case studies are pretty amazing, and they show what's working right now. But what's around the corner? What's the next big thing? Looking ahead to 2025, the trends point to a future that's way more intelligent, way more transparent, and honestly, way more immersive. We're talking about things like AI-driven personalization that feels like it's reading your mind, blockchain loyalty programs, even marketing inside of augmented reality. But among all these cool things, two themes really stand out as being critical: using technology for regulation, improving your security. Let's just focus on that first one for a second, Reg Tech. It stands for regulatory technology, and it's all about using tech to keep up with all the complex financial rules. Now, looking forward, this isn't just about avoiding fines anymore. It's actually becoming a marketing tool in itself, a way to actively prove to your customers that you're transparent, you're compliant, and most importantly, that you're worthy of their trust. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground: the landscape, the winning strategies, and a peek into the future. And that brings us to one final big picture idea that kind of ties it all together. As AI and automation continue to completely reshape this industry, we're left with this question. Are the ultimate winners going to be the ones with the most sophisticated code and the cleverest algorithms? Or will it be the brands that figure out how to use all that technology to build a deeper, more human connection with their customers? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining The Explainer.